Hello, hello. Today I'm going to talk about the topic we know as anxiety. And I just want to share about 5 techniques plus a little bonus reminder at the end about how to sort of ease anxiety. I'll try and keep this one as simple, short as possible. Also want to remind you these techniques may only be a band-aid to the actual cause of the issue. So they can provide relief, obviously, for the symptoms. But there will be things that you will need to do, that you will actually need to change your life in various or a few ways to actually be able to combat, it's not really a good word to use, to get through your, transform, that's a nice word. Yeah, there'll be various things that you will actually need to do to transform through your anxiety, or this emotion that we are labeling anxiety. And also a reminder, not a health professional. Recommend obviously you seek advice from a diet specialist, because there'll probably be some changes you need to make in your diet. A psychologist specialist, because there'll probably be some programming that you're running through your system. And probably also an etheric specialist that will be able to obviously look at things like your other lives, your intergenerational trauma, your energy hygiene, your life purpose, all of those sort of things. And I say those 3 things because they are going to touch on different parts of your being, of who you are. I do understand modern medicine will usually solely focus on a physical symptom, and not usually the cause. And so I know medication and whatnot is usually the way that a lot of health professionals will take when it comes to sort of a lot of Western culture. That will only provide a very temporary relief and may actually cause further issues. I'm not saying that you should not go down that avenue, that's completely up to you. But there is also other specialists that you may want to consider, especially if this is causing you a lot of discomfort in your life. Okay, let's get into the 5 techniques. So the first one I talk about is relaxation. And there's obviously lots of techniques in regards to that. So things like visualization, meditation, your breathing, all of those. Second one I want to talk about is sleep, and what I would call slow space. And the purpose of that is so that you can integrate your experiences. Depending on the reality in which you reside in, it's quite likely that you will be sitting in a reality in which you'll probably be given a lot of information. Life could be considered quite fast. There's a lot of experiences that you can have just within one day, and one needs time to actually integrate those experiences, embody them, transform them, all of those kind of things. If you haven't been able to do that, then the next day, get up, you have all of these other experiences, but you still haven't dealt with the ones that happened yesterday, and so obviously it can build up and build up, build up. Third one, finding movement that you enjoy. There's no point getting up, going for a run, if it's not really something that you enjoy. I know there's the potential benefit in pushing yourself into things that you don't want to do, but I think I would rather say do a movement in which you enjoy. So if you don't like running but you like dancing, well, there's an answer. If you don't like cycling but you like swimming, there's an answer. So find a movement that you enjoy. Maybe it's just, you might even like cleaning. So put your leggings on, put your sports bra on, whatever, and maybe get a little bit old fashioned about it. Use a little less technology, get a bit more arm grease and whatnot, and clean your house. The thing is, when the human is quite stagnant in this physical form, it can make it harder to move through experiences. A bit like when I was talking with the sleep and slow pace thing, space thing. If you didn't move yesterday and you're still not moving today, you can remain a bit more stuck. and then you're just sort of packing things on top, if that makes sense. So moving, every day if possible, and then that just allows energy to move out of the body. Key is finding something that you enjoy to do that with. Another tip I want to give you, so number 4, is doing an art in which you enjoy. I do understand that almost anything you do could be considered an art. So yes, you could make anything you do an art. You're welcome to. But if you want to be a little bit more specific and sort of see only certain actions as arts, that's fine too. So if you're into painting, go ahead, do some painting. It doesn't have to be that limited. It could just be the art of doing the dishes. Whatever it is that you want to see as an art, but that you find very therapeutic for you. Doing that on a regular basis. Number 5 is herbs/plants. So things like teas, medicinal foods, smells, that can be quite beneficial. So finding out, learning about things like the teas and aromatherapies and medicinal foods that can help with the relaxation, that can help with the nervous system, that will help with the easing of the anxiety. And often it's because you just need to actually slow down. Again, going back to that sort of, if you're in a fast pace all the time, there's no sort of time for the body to get out, or those things that no longer serve, that sort of integration that needs to happen as well. So yeah, sometimes, something as simple like lavender, right? It can relax you. And what's also another purpose in that is to actually slow you down. So yes, learning about those sort of things can be very helpful. You don't have to learn a lot. It could just be 2 or 3 plants that you find works really well for you. Obviously has no side effects. The whole definition of side effects in modern medicine is quite an interesting concept, but we won't go into that. It's not really the purpose of this vlog. And the bonus, a little reminder is to get through anxiety, or getting through a moment of anxiety, should I say, you actually have to lean into it. And yes, maybe you're visualizing actual physical leaning in. That's fine if that's how your mind works, your being works. And me saying this, you have to lean into it. I know it's hard. I know it's easier said than done. But the reason you've got to lean into it, because there's actually something in there that emotion, that energy is trying to teach you. And it's always something related to yourself, but not in the sort of egotistical individualization sort of mode or frame of mind. It's more the concept of knowing yourself and then being able to help. It's not even and then, it's more it all happens at the same time, really. Knowing yourself is also allowing you to know everything else that's supposedly external to you. And when that happens, it's just more of you being able to be of service, you being able to help your brothers, your sisters, all of those things. And there's little things sort of in the background here, your environment, your natural environment that you're living in. Hopefully, I hope you've got at least a tree or 2 in your backyard if you're having to live in a suburban environment. Yeah. And there's lots of different techniques in regards to how to really sort of ease into that emotion and being able to feel it all. Because if you're not dealing with it and you're not feeling all the way into it, it creates blocks. It sort of just puts it to the side, and then it'll come back, as I like to call it, rear its ugly head later. And it may just expand itself, become even more of an issue, more of a thing in which one has to deal with. It's an emotion. all emotions are energy, and energy can never be destroyed, obviously. It can only be like transformed, transferred, transmuted, whatever. And with emotion, it's not made to be stored within the body. So it's supposed to be felt its way through, and then it will be released. Lots of techniques of each part of that kind of process. And I will leave that up to you to find what it is that resonates with you and how to go about that. I am no expert on anything, but I can say that, anxiety is an emotion that I was not aware of until, in my own experience, until the last sort of year and a half. And so it's meant that I've now had to learn a lot more about this energy and this emotion, and trust that me going through all these experiences is also an opportunity for me to help teach and talk with others about it, and make us feel more comfortable with the fact that this is here. I have known for a long time, since I was a little girl, that it is something that supposedly has become more prevalent due to a lot of this external technology that we use, especially in regards to a social modality we call social media. And a lot of it obviously is related to us not being connected to this kind of natural environment that we live in, but also connection with ourselves, and that can obviously reflect out into our inability to actually connect with others. And obviously there's a whole thing around not being able to connect with others because they also have their own things that they're going through, and I'm probably heading a little bit away from where I want to go with this vlog. So I'm going to end it here. I'm also going to welcome you if you'd like to share any tips that you have about easing your anxiety. Like I said earlier, it's important to recognize that there are tools to help you with your symptoms, but at the end of the day, it will not be transformed, and it will likely not really get better, whatever that means, until you're able to find out what the root cause of it is. Sometimes it's not necessarily being created within one's being. It's being created on a supposed external level, another person, a place, building, whatever. But there's still something going on with inside you that is allowing that to come in and interfere and override and become kind of disempowered in your own expression, your own way of being. So yeah, also welcome to ask any questions in the comment section down below. I'm also on various other social media platforms. There's other ways you can communicate with me. If you feel more comfortable about talking about this in private, that's okay too. And I will see you soon.